And for more on this development, former delegate of the 2014 Constitutional Conference representing Nigerian women, Comrade Safiya Ogoh, joins me from our Abuja studio. Many thanks for joining us on the news this hour.
Thank you so much, TVC. Thank you, fellow Nigerians. I greet you all.
Let me begin by saying that the staff of the Women Affairs Ministry on Wednesday, September 10th, protests prolonged neglect and poor work condition. Can you quickly walk us through the role of the minister to provide policy direction vis-a-vis that of the permanent secretaries and other directors?
I would like to take this as a welcome development. When you hear of a conflict, is an opportunity for progress, is an opportunity for a change, and is an opportunity to showcase the caliber of a person, which is Imaan Suleman-Ibrahim, who happens to be the minister, city minister. First of all, before I say anything, is to first of all thank His Excellency President Bola Ahmed, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief, who has appointed the rightful person with caliber of track record in the past. She has performed under Refugee Commission. She has performed under NAPTIV. She performed excellently well as the then Minister of Police. And by extension today, she remains the statutory incumbent Honorable Minister of the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, whose role, as mandated by Mr. President in her appointment, is advocacy and dispensation of policy in line with the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency. She remains the intermediary between government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Ministry of Women Affairs via the entire welfare of Nigerian women across board, either in terms of policy, advocacy, and directions. Again, it may interest you to know, under her leadership, there are officers, statutory officers, designated officers, whose headship remains the permanent secretary of the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, who supersedes and supervises and dishes out welfare to the staff of the ministry. There are departments and there are also parastata within the Ministry of Women Affairs. For instance, the permanent secretary has directors under him. It's his duty to supersede the daily welfare of the entire ministry.
All right, let me quickly get your reaction on this particular development. We all agree that our role is to ensure policy direction, but what mechanism do you think should be put in place to ensure better welfare condition of workers?
I must tell you that it is one thing for Imaan Suleman-Ibrahim to dish out the welfare package through the permanent secretary via the responsive directorate. And it is one thing for the personnel in charge of this dishing out of welfare to entrench this welfare to the deserving staff. In the aftermath of this induced pseudo-protest, her humble self, the Honorable Minister, engaged the staff through the union and called for a town hall for communication and understanding her own specific role as a policy and advocacy minister, and then calling on the statutory permanent secretary and the directorate to expedite this welfare. And this has generated a cordial communication between the staff who are desiring this welfare and the office of the minister. And at the end of the day, when this town hall was made, it ended up with a win-win situation. Understanding, and then collaboration, now coming in together to interplay towards the welfare. The key role of the ministry under the leadership of Hajia Imaan is to support any request on welfare to the office of the minister, which she has always assigned and approved on request. She has never declined anything that has to do with the welfare. However, we want to let the public know that there should not be any external interference into the good and beautiful works that Hajia Suleman-Ibrahim, being the minister, is doing at the moment.
If I may quickly come in now, with your relationship with the minister, do you think she's capable of delivering on the renewed hope agenda of the president, meeting the key performance indicator of this particular ministry?
Excellently well. She has the capability, she has the capacity, she has the training, the tool to see and oversee and supervise the ministry based on her track record in NAPTIP, her track record in Refugee Commission, her track record as one-time Minister of Police. And of course, they have elevated her being the cabinet minister from a state minister to a cabinet minister. It may interest you to know that with her advent in the ministry, she has keyed in the agenda of the ministry to the agenda of the renewed hope of Mr. President. One, she has working on empowering over 10 million women across board in the 36 states under her advocacy outreach. She has also empowered over 5 million PLWDs, people living with disability across board, and then the vulnerable groups are also carried along. This is not enough. She has led the voice of the ministry to the United Nations under the COP29 to ensure that Nigerian women's voice are heard across the globe, seeking for global partnership. These she has come back home to demonstrate in the local way to see how she can reduce gas emission, the use of firewood by Nigerian women, because you know the impact on the health of an average rural Nigerian woman in terms of using the firewood. So she has designed a methodology, reaching out to give them the cooking gas, introducing them to modern technology so that we can have longevity, maternal health, and child mortality. It's a fine place
to leave it. Former delegate of the 2014 Constitutional Conference, Comrade Ogoh, Safiya, many thanks for joining us on the news this hour.